One. Here we go. Hello. Hilda, how are you doing, girlfriend?
Hi, I'm doing fine, thank you. And yourself?
I am alive and well. Hopefully, you
Mhm.
had a good Thanksgiving. We are coming back from our little Thanksgiving break that we had. And for those of y'all that are not recognizing Hilda, this is Hilda Pena, not Hilda Lamas. Hilda is at home taking care of Rick. Rick, who was had an unfortunate accident and is at home. He is recovering, and so hopefully we'll keep him in our prayers, and he'll get better soon. A big shout out to Borrado Lopez there in Houston. He says, "I'm here, Indio. Hey, how you doing, B? Thank you so very much for being here, Rick Balderrama. Hey, hola, hey Rick, how are you doing, brother? Nice to
Right.
see you here. Hey, we got an awesome guest today. You know, I'm so happy to have him here. It's always a wonderful to have somebody of his caliber, his talent, and his longevity. And I'm really honored to have him with our show today. The one and only Gary Hobbs. What do you think?
Oh, can't wait to talk to him. Really,
Yeah,
his
he's
music.
yeah, he's amazing. And thank you very much, all of y'all, for joining us. David Vela as well. Hello, Indio and Hilda Peña. David Vela of Oakland is watching. Vivian Chavez, you too. So let me go ahead and run that intro and bring in the one, the only, like I like to call him, the badass Tejano legend himself, Gary Hobbs. Roll that intro. There's Gary. How you doing, brother? How you
Uh,
doing, bro?
there's only one problem to that intro.
Uh-oh.
That there's no filters here, and now it's the real thing, and now instead of looking my age, I look even older. But
Ah, you, you,
what
look, you look great, brother. You look great.
what a pleasure to be with y'all. What a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank
Like,
you so very much. Thank you so very much. Yeah, no, you look great. Michelle says hello, everyone. Of course, man, you look great, bro. I mean, I remember we saw each other not too long ago there in Midland. You're performing there in Midland, and people were there, enjoying themselves. And it was awesome because it was a little early for you, which was kind of odd because you're for me you're always a headliner, and for you to be ahead of others, it's kind of weird for me. But people were still sober when you were there, so I guess that's why, because they were like, okay, he's got good music. Let's make sure that we get the good ones first.
Well, I think that a lot of that attributes to, I guess being a veteran and then my age and so many great new acts. And the only problem with me on that is that I guess it makes me sound like a whiner, a complainer, but just I guess maybe my age or whatever, being that in that heat, getting on that 5, 6 o'clock is like, man, I may have to rethink those things when those offers come in. But again, whatever time I'm hired to do. I got to do my job right, and but you're right. They were sober.
They were sober. Well, I mean, they enjoyed it, so obviously you still have the.
That could be a good thing and a bad thing because then if they're sober, they can hear all the wrong notes or something.
right.
Oh no, they were enjoying themselves. I was there. I was sober too. So, but no, I mean, that's true. But we were talking before, about David Lee Garza, and David Lee. He shared with me, and this is right after everything started coming back up after COVID. And he was like, Lawrence, he was struggling justifying going 8 hours to Phoenix, Arizona to
No,
play.
that's more like 16 hours for him and me.
Well,
Yeah.
but just playing for 2 or 3 hours and then coming all the way home when he was used to being at home, and that was his big struggle. He was just like, man, I don't, he and so you get to pick and choose when you're Gary Hobbs. You get to pick, and you have that luxury of, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that today. And so
No, no, I'm blessed that I'm blessed that people hire us, and I think to some people they can't fathom that we're still doing like 100 shows a year.
yeah,
And there's some that don't even believe that, Lawrence and Hilda. And I think that they they wouldn't believe that a lot of our artists in the 90s were doing 200 plus shows a year.
Oh,
They're not going to fathom that, you know. And I know mainstream, you know, mainstream American music, they have this 35 city tour, and wow, what a nice luxury to do arenas and 35 cities in a year. And but back in the 90s we were doing 220 shows for about a good 2 3 years, and then but that 180 170. But we still do, if you go back to the all the social media and you go back with us since we started, you're going to see schedules, you know, from 10 12 14 years ago, and we're still doing 100 shows a year. And I know they all say Tejano music is dead, and I know the old classic, and that's the nice ways of putting it, because sometimes they say, oh, that Gary Hobbs, he's old. You know, and I like to remind everybody that there's, if I'm old, there's some other people that are ancient, you know.
So,
and, and
speaking of
and then
old
there's some
filters,
youngsters. There's some youngsters that they're just babies, you know. They're
right.
But we're blessed to be hired. And I'll give you an example. Somebody hired us to do a show in the Valley, and it was in, oh my God, I'm so, now lately I've been having that sometimers disease.
mhm,
Sometimes I remember. And but it's funny because they call me and they were very upfront, and they said, you know, we have this show, and we have these bands in the lineup, and they're more norteño, more regional mexicano. And but we want you to come in Tejano, but you know, do you have a problem coming in at 5:30 or 6 o'clock? And then I saw the offer and the money, and I have no problem starting at 5:30 or 6. But it was a challenge because it was around August. It was pretty hot, and now I gotta think that twice, because mind still thinks that I can do it. My mind still thinks that I can play ball. I can hit the ball. I can put it over second, and I'm taking second on the run. And we all know that's not going to happen, right?
mhm.
Maybe my hamstring gives out like halfway to first,
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm still blessed to, you know, just that Midland show was good, and you know.
Well, no, I understand. I mean, I have friends that are like, man, you know, you used to jump out of planes. Let's go skydiving, dude. I did it because it was my job, bro. I'm not jumping out of a perfectly good plane. You know.
Funny, that's why I was doing the 5 6 o'clock show, because I was just doing my job.
Yeah,
But
it's
I'm not well. I still think I, you know, if they put me at 3 o'clock somewhere, I think I can. But with this sun, this heat, you know, in Texas, you got to be from Texas to understand that. You know, it's,
that takes.
man, it can be December and we're having 90 degrees outside. Oh my God, like, you know, we want a little bit of cold weather from once in a while, you know. But
It got down to 75. We got to
Well, it's been cold here lately. So,
right.
yeah.
yeah.
Michelle
So,
says my best friend has been your number one fan ever since day one. She goes to
mhm,
all of your shows. Hijo.
Well, hello to your best friend,
mhm.
Michelle,
Cari
right?
Garcia says, hello, Gary. Rick Valderrama says, saludos,
Rick
Gary.
Valderrama, royalty, La Patria.
La
Big
Patria.
shout out, La
Yeah.
Familia Valderrama.
Yeah.
Um, Gary, you speak about filters and stuff. I'm not going to say your age because I did read your biography, but you started off really young and you played the piano and the guitar at age 8, it says 7 or 8.
Yeah, I started music lessons here and there, and it again, I love playing ball. Baseball was one. I love football, but I wouldn't have had the. I mean, I don't know. I used to be 6 feet tall, and now maybe I'm 5'8". I don't know,
You
and
shrunk.
you know, but I shrunk. But I used to love playing ball, and my mom would, and my grandma. I was raised living with my grandparents, my grandfather, and my grandma. So they let you play out till the sun came down, and
Mhm.
and the neighborhood kids, you know, the neighborhood gang, and we love playing all sports. It just depending what time of the year. But my mom told me once, you're gonna start playing piano lessons, and I love music, hearing music, because music's always been around in the family, you know, hearing it. And my mom used to sing, but it kind of went over my head, and okay, but then at first I didn't really want to, but then I was given the ultimatum: you're either going to piano or you're not playing outside with the guys. And I go, So literally, the guys would wait for me till I went to piano and I came back, and But so since a very young age, and I started performing with bands, a band called Chicano Breed Band. We were a horn section, six horns, and I was a trumpet player. I was 14 years old.
Wow.
So I've been exposed to Chicano and Tejano since I was like, 13, 14 years old. But and I went on the road like maybe at the age of um, 22, and I was recording already by the age of 22, 23. So at Hacienda Records. So I'm blessed that I've been around that long.
Yeah.
Mateo Carrion says Gary is an absolute legend. Much respect
Uh,
for him and his grind.
God bless Mateo.
You know what? Yeah, that was one of the things that I really appreciated about you was your musicianship and your attention to detail and all the music that you brought. Which is just you're a consummate professional, and I really respect that. And your music has always been top tier. I really love the way you've orchestrated all of your music and talking about your music. I know that we want to mention that you're going to be doing this New Year's Eve dance over at the Players Sports Bar on Tuesday, December 31st in Dallas, Texas. So if you're in Dallas, Texas, it's on Illinois Avenue. Be sure you get your tickets. There's the it's at 214-828-7217 is the number to call. But that Gary Hobbs will be there for the New Year's Eve dance. If you're in DFW, go out there and check it out, man. It's a great show. I saw you recently, so you know, and I spent last year in Dallas, so I may see you up there.
There
So,
you go.
but it's a
We're in Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff.
Okay.
yeah, run. No, just
Okay, right. We've been there
No,
before. Players is a
it's
cool place.
no.
it's one of my favorite places. It's a smaller place, but
Hmm.
it's 110% Tejano
Yeah.
when we're
Yeah.
there, and so we're blessed that we're. I haven't been in New Year's Eve in Dallas for a while, but it's pretty much a known fact that Fort Worth, Dallas was like my home away from home for a while there, and it's funny that back in '83 I started in Grand Prairie, Texas, 83 and a half or something like that. And I used to go to a club, Gomez Palladium. It was owned by Chono and Lupe Gomez. And they were the ones that gave us the first break. Now, I got to tell you, we used to go in and play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the same club. And we were doing three 1 hour sets each night,
Wow.
and that's just unheard of today.
I,
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
and
That's
and
a
at the end of the weekend, the amount of money that we got paid, well, it's different, of course, throughout the years that you established yourself and stuff. But I had the pleasure of seeing the owner once some years back, and I told him that what he paid us for 3 days, 9 hours, wasn't paying the first hour or something like today. And I was joking with him, but I credit a lot Chono and Lupe Gomez, the Gomez Palladium. We met so many people. Of course, everybody was our age. We were in our early 20s, and it was just it just took off. But that club was also bringing in Selena when she was before she became the young adult and before becoming the international superstar. But there was other bands, Selena, us. I want to say maybe Fandango USA at that time. I can't remember, but it brings back a lot of great memories. At the same time, it was like everything was new, and but yeah, we started there at the Gomez Palladium, the Dallas Fort Worth area. So we're there for New Year's Eve in Oak Cliff at Players. So anybody tuning in, join us.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. Sandra Riva says, "Yeah, the '80s were overwhelming. I promoted for Joey Records when Michael Salgado started there."
There
Wow,
you go.
there you go. That was a while back. And Hilda actually is married to Rick, who from Rick Garcia from
Mhm.
this Hacienda Records, and so Rick is he's a little under the weather, so that's why she's not here today. But he's getting better. He's on the mend, so that's the good thing.
Good. Por Dios.
Yeah, Borrado says Mr. Hobbs is a real legend, definitely. So
Thank you, Borrao Lopez. Okay.
yeah, yeah. David says, let's see here. Milda just filming like crazy, but okay. I don't know
Uh,
what it means, but okay.
we have all these awards now, but I was reading back then. What was the Mike Chavez Awards?
Oh, oh.
The Mike Chavez Awards. Mike Chavez was so instrumental in promoting music and Chicano Tejano and that Corpus Christi area. He had awards for many years, many years. And Mike, towards the, I guess, three-fourths into his career, he started managing booking Grupo Mas, and I would say he had his hands full, but we that we were blessed to participate and be friends with Mike. Mike was a wonderful person and no nonsense. He's got a sense of humor, but he's no nonsense when it comes to business. He always takes care of it. And but Mike Chavez was one of those first awards, like he was doing it before the Tejano Music Awards
Yeah.
to be for sure.
Yeah. No, that's Borrado was saying that here in Houston we had a radio station called 106.5 Kakukuka. Yeah, then it went by 107.9. And when I went to the studio and I played Mr. Hobbs, yeah.
Yeah, they were great. Kakukuka before Mexico started buying all of us out.
Before, yeah, Univision took everybody out in this play. Just
Hey,
if you weren't part of Univision, you weren't getting any airplay.
unfortunately, it's all about the bennies now.
Yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was there.
you, yeah, you gotta address the elephant in the room, and
that's,
it's
that's,
all
that's a big
about the
elephant.
bennies.
That's a big elephant. Lupe Lozano, he says, hello, Mr. Indio, listening from Toledo, Ohio. How are you?
Toledo, Ohio.
Very much for joining us. I really do appreciate you. Connie Garcia says, muchas bendiciones, Gary. How are you doing?
Thank you, Connie. God bless.
And so Lupe says, hola, amiga Hilda Pena.
You know,
Papuchi, listening in from
Papuchi.
desde Cuba. How are you doing, Papuchi?
Cuba. Oh my God. ¿Qué le pasa, socio? Coño, mine.
Lupe says, hello, Mr. Gary Hobbs. How are you? So
Hello,
that's
babe.
cool. No, I mean, you know what? You've been doing so much. You've been active, and it's true. People don't realize that you really are doing a lot. But you know what it is? I keep telling people it's one of these. People put themselves in this little world because of this, and they think that the world exists just in here. And Tejano is everywhere, all over the United States. There's a lot of different places you can go to listen to Tejano music, where they want Tejano music, where they ask for Tejano music. It's just they don't have it, and we're spoiled because we have it here, especially in San Antonio. You have it there. I'm in West Texas, and in West Texas, I'm always trying to bring people up here. I'm always trying to make it happen here, uh, because there is that tidal wave of you know a lot of Spanish music, and I have to tell people, look, just like they have rock country and different types of English music, they have different types of Spanish music too. It's not just
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. 'Cause then
you know what I'm
I'll,
saying.
I'll make some friends and some haters tonight for sure.
I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. But it's one of those things. It's education, and that's one of the main things that I try to get a lot of people to understand is that
It's it's quite true what you're saying. I have people that show up at a show, and it could be at a club that I've been frequently there, and they'll say something like, "Man, I came to see you. I didn't know you were still playing," and that kind of tells you really how they keep up with Tejano,
Mhm.
because we're congregating at the Tejano clubs or venues and at events, but these days, I mean, music has been just I mean, expanding so many different ways when it comes to Spanish and being bilingual, and the culture is kind of, our audience, of course, is older. We were looking at that the other day because we made, I won't reference the other artists, but we're in or around about the same age. He may be a couple of years younger than I, but his audience is younger than ours, and so uh, our audience is 50s, 60s, 70s, and the older that the audience gets, well, they're not going out as much, Lawrence. They, all of us have children or grandchildren, and they take a lot of priority,
Yeah.
in our lives. And unfortunately, I'm always on the road,
Mhm.
but when I get home, I mean, if I'm not doing something, phones or podcasts or studying music, I mean, my grandkids now are teenagers, except for one of them, and two of them are in college, and so they're all over. And but it used to be that I was a phone call away if they needed me, and they have their own lives to live and stuff like that. But they know who Grandpa is, and they call me Pa. They never call me Grandpa. It's Pa. They know who Pa is, but they really don't listen to the industry, to the genre. So and I don't force it upon them. I get so many people on the road that'll come up to me, and it's so nice to hear these little stories. And they were growing up, and their parents would always have our music on the weekends while they were cleaning or barbecuing, and that's how they listened to our music. And so they wanted to kind of reminisce with that, and go see our show because they've lost parents, so they lost. And so that's kind of endearing that they know the music, they heard it, but because of their parents. And today you don't really hear that, parents make, put, I guess everybody's got their own little life, like you say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and but back then you would hear music with your parents, and so the Lo Tejano, just when it came in, pretty strong, late 80s, mid 80s, 80s, 90s, and to the latter part of the 90s. And but today, music's got to change, Lawrence and Hilda.
Yeah.
Music has to change, but I refuse to change very much. I mean, I love a lot of sounds. I love a lot of music. I could hear some funk, you know,
Mhm.
and I'll hear it for a while. But if I hear the same beat all night long, and no pun intended, if I'm hearing
Yeah.
all night long, or if I'm hearing all night long, is like, and that's just me. Maybe it
Yeah.
has something to do with my age, right? But
No.
as a musician, I've been blessed that I'm always surrounding myself with people that are better than I am, and from keyboards to whatever, and I'm blessed that I have a band that can play a lot of different genres, and if we had to, a song or two. But we're pretty true to what we do, our Tejano recordings, and we try and stay pretty much close to the script, what was recorded, because I think that's what people want to hear. If I was to go see somebody that I was listening to when I was growing up, and I didn't hear a lot of Motown till later in life, but when I started hearing Latin Breed and stuff like that, or I listened to a lot of Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire, especially Earth, Wind and Fire, and and now I see them and they change up the music, and I feel like, damn, I wouldn't pay money to go see them change the whole show like that. Like
Yeah.
an
Well,
example, Temptations. If I wanted to hear My Girl, and he starts ad libbing on me, My Girl, My Girl, My, like that's not what I heard, and that's not what I want to hear. You
yeah.
know,
And
I'll tell you a little story. I've never really gone to concerts in my life. When I was sponsored by Coca-Cola USA, uh, uh, there was a concert in Dallas with Luis Miguel and Elisa Gonzalez Rubio, the rep from Coca-Cola that signed us on. Jesse Melendres, a road manager of ours, and Jesse and I and Elisa, she had to stop by at that concert, so we tagged along. We tagged along, and we were like eighth row, dead center, and I was seeing the whole production, right? And nothing but 10 rows of beautiful women, and I'm thinking, how does he do it to get all these women just here? Okay, but and the funny part is that when I finally got up to leave, somebody said, Gary Hobbs, And I was so thrilled because there must have been like 8,000 people or something, and one person recognized Gary Hobbs, right? But I went to a Luis Miguel concert, only about 45 minutes. I saw that, and I've never been to really pay to go see concerts. And just last month or two, I was scheduled to go see Barry Manilow. I wanted to see Barry Manilow. I'm a big fan,
Yeah.
and he canceled the show. He rescheduled because he came down with COVID, you know. But then later that month, my wife and I got to go see Tom Jones in Arlington and Grand Prairie. Okay, and so we went to the show. The man is 84 years old, 84, and I want to say he still has like three-fourths and a half of his vocals intact. And
Wow.
I was just like, I mean, I couldn't believe. Okay, I know he's Tom Jones, Sir Tom Jones, and he sang everything except "She's a Lady." And I think the story is he's not playing "She's a Lady" because since his wife passed away,
Mhm.
but he did everything else, and he can't move. He went through hip surgery months ago, so he kind of like swayed, you know. But I was astonished, you know, that at his age, you know,
He's still
that he could sing like that. So happy that I got to see him, and I was thinking, I wonder what will they be saying if God graces with me with health and the vocals, or that I can still do that at that age. And I started, you know, thinking, my God, that's little Joe's age and Ruben
Oh
Ramos,
my God.
and so I've always respected these elder musicians
statesman, elder statesmen of Tejano.
Elderly.
a new perspective view of what they're going through right now, and it's just amazing because I'm turning 65 on January the 5th, con el favor de Dios, if I make it.
Mhm.
But and that Medicare, it better be worth it.
You don't look a day older than that. I wasn't going to
but
say your age, but the
but
filter's
it
working good with you.
The filter's
and it,
working. You're
well
25, bro.
It's working it good.
it just gave me a new perspective view of these artists that have been doing it way longer than I have.
Yeah.
I'm in May it'll be 42 years. So
Wow.
you know, and it's been a nonstop. Gracias a Dios. So I got way past the haters and people that, nah, you're just a local guy and you're not gonna make it. And man, I tell you what, it's a challenge every week, and it's not a competition with people. It's with or other artists. I don't care who it is. It's a competition with yourself. It's a
Exactly.
challenge to be able to get out there and do the best that you can do. And I mean, I do get paid. I
Mhm.
am in the business strictly to get paid. But when somebody comes and tells me and they say, "Man, Gary, you still have it," well, it just depends what that guy thought I had, right? You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if it was one paid customer that was satisfied that our performance, then I'm a blessed man because I surround myself with great musicians, and I go through valleys, highs and lows with musicians and promoters, and nothing that other artists have not been through themselves.
Well, I have all of your albums on rotation, so don't even sell yourself short, brother.
I
Real
think
quick,
there's hate everywhere,
right?
no matter what. There's hate everywhere. If you're a promoter, artist, no matter what. But it's something you got to deal with in the industry.
Yeah,
But you got to know how to take it.
Fabian Piana says, saludos everyone de parte de los Arcos Hermanos Peña oficial.
Hmm.
I'm trying to catch up with here, bro, because we
Yeah.
just we fell way
Um,
behind. Let's see here.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Uh, I'm trying to just if I skip you, sorry guys. Joe Liel, he says, saludos y bendiciones, Gary Hobbs.
Big shout out, Joe.
How are you doing,
Joey
brother? Thank you
from
so very much
Chicago.
from being here. Yeah. Man, we got a lot of people joining us here.
Who have you called?
Yeah, hi y'all. Saludos,
Carlos Garcia.
Carlos P. Garcia, uh, Chiqui Salazar, Gary Hobbs, love you.
Hey, Chiquis.
Yeah, there you go. Connie Garcia says, still looking good, sir. Still
All right,
looking
thank you,
good.
Connie.
So,
God
Team
bless.
K,
Thank you for that.
TDK's in the house. How you doing, TDK? The Techno Dance King. Let's see here. Lupe, Mr. Gary Hobbs. They'll be saying, wow, he can still sing. You are just amazing. Such a great talent.
Thank you, brother. God bless you, man.
Vivian Chavez says, you are blessed, Gary Hobbs.
Thank you.
Blessed. And you know what? Yeah, you got you the what we were saying about the music and evolving and changing and everything else. This it's very true, but the thing is that music does need to evolve. Tejano music does need to evolve. It needs to grow. That's how you grow. You have to change. If you weren't, you'd still be the baby size. You have to grow. You have to change. But there's still some things that stay true to what Tejano is, like if songs that are formulaic, like norteño or like salsa is very formulaic, 135 beats, very singular. You speed it up, add a steel guitar, then it's bachata. You speed it up even faster, take out the guitar, then it's merengue. It's there are formulas to it. But that's what makes Tejano music so different and so unique. But you've been playing it, you've been doing it, you've kept it up, and you have the career to prove it. I used to tell people all the time, I'm a DJ. I've been a DJ for 20 plus years. And they're like, oh, you're a DJ. Yeah, I'm a DJ. I'm a paid DJ. And the reason I'm a paid DJ is because I'm good. If I wasn't, nobody would pay me to be a DJ. They wouldn't pay me if I wasn't any good. That's why I'm saying people want to see Gary House because he's good. It's a
I
great show.
appreciate that, man.
And that's why we want to go to your cruise. I've been on a boat plenty of times. I don't want to go back on a boat, bro. But I've never been on a cruise. The boats I've been on were the Navy taking me overseas. It's a different boat. So, but no, it's a great cruise that you're on. That's a great segue, by the way. I was just trying to plug that in there because you do have that cruise that's coming up, that family and friends on February 1st through the 8th. Where's that taking you though? Where's that cruise going?
Well, if you study it, you're going to find out that we don't have really a lot of options coming out of Galveston. I mean, we've done Rotan, Honduras, we've done Belize, we've done Costa Maya, Cozumel, of course, but we've done uh, they've had cruises, of course, to Jamaica, to Cayman Islands, stuff like that. And we just went through two cruises in less in 8 9 months. We had last Valentine's. We went first time on Harmony of the Seas. We do everything on Royal Caribbean. We were the only ones for about 8 years, and now everybody's coming on board Royal Caribbean.
I think they found the secret sauce. That's why.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not a hater, but of course the one in February of 26. It takes a good 12 14 months to make sure that you cross all the T's and dot the I's and get into the venues. Of course, without the venues, all these other cruises. I mean, they do what they do, and they've been on Carnival. They have small stages. They're dancing on carpet and stuff like that. I experienced that twice with somebody else, and I really didn't want to go back. I just thought that our audience likes to dance, and on these Royal Caribbean cruises that we put on, we have a ice skating ring that they turn into a dance floor, 60 feet by 40 feet. And so there's plenty of space to dance. And we've been blessed. We did 4 on Liberty of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. And then we've done now twice on Harmony of the Seas. It's a beautiful ship. And we're looking forward we are going to be going to Rotan, Honduras, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. But this last one that we had to the Bahamas, we had about 80% new cruisers, and we still had 420 people on board. The one in Valentine's, that hit 615 or something like that. I want to think that it was the first cruise that we did after COVID. And I think everybody was just waiting for it. But we've been through 6 of them. We've been blessed. Everybody wants to know the lineup, and of course, even I want to know the lineup. But
Right.
we are talking to a lot of people, and we'll see what their schedules and then what's feasible for them and for us. But we
Well,
always bring on board bands that are gonna give you that beat. You were talking about beats, and Tejano, you can go 101, 102, 103, 104, but you bring that Tejano ranchera down to 92, or that's now something else.
Yeah,
And nobody's gonna convince me in my little world that other beats are Tejano, because they're not.
yeah. Oh, and also, I want to reiterate that it doesn't interfere with the schedule of other events that are going on the cruise. It's all scheduled within the workings of everything else. So you're not going to be excluded from, well, you have to pick between this and this. It's all worked within the whole confines of what's going on. So
Yeah, we have several activities, several events. We put on 2, 3 dances. There used to be 3 dances, and now Royal Caribbean is only allowing us 2 dances. But we have we have a meet and greet. We have a 70s 80s party. What my wife and I did as host on this last one, we leased out a big portion of Mr. Sancho's resort in Cozumel, and so that doesn't come free, but we but we were able to have all our Tejano cruisers, on the beach, and all of them together. Usually you go to the beach and, well, you see a couple of friends, but to be able to put them in a section together and have the bar service, and have, of course, they're Mr. Sancho's. It's not that I'm plugging them, but it's a nice resort. You pay $68 or something. It's all the food and all the drinks, including alcohol that you can. So you get there at 9, 10 in the morning, and you leave at 2, 3 in the afternoon, whatever time you want to leave, or go shopping, or etc. But we were able to lease out a portion of it. So all our Tejano cruisers, and on that one, there was like 220 plus of them just congregating. And that's what the Tejano Family and Friends cruise for us, Gary Hobbs Family and Friends cruise. Many people thought that only his family and only his friends can go. And I go,
now it's
but we have become family and friends with people from all over Kansas City, from Chicago, from Colorado, from California. I was surprised one year we had somebody from New York, but but we have people from Florida, and of course a lot of people from Texas, and all over. I mean, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. Eagle Pass has been participating pretty heavily the last couple of cruises, and so we're blessed. But of course, anybody can visit us at GaryHobbsCruise.com. GaryHobbsCruise.com. We do have an official travel agent, Happy Mireles. Her daughter, Ashley Moles, will be assisting too. But Happy Mireles is our official travel agent, and they're wonderful people and great customer service. And of course, my wife is always on the phone with people, and everybody loves my wife. And I'm going to tell you a 10-second story. We were at Mr. Sancho's. If you know, you know. But we were at Mr. Sancho's. We're getting to Mr. Sancho's, and we're supposed to come in and then take a left, past the bar, into our designated area. And there was a big pink poster, and it said "Family and Friends," and then Diana Hobbs in gigantic letters that way to the left. I looked at it and I go, okay, something's wrong with that. So so I was behind the pool, just looking at everything, making sure anything needs to be taken care of. But before I take care of something, my wife Diana and Happy, our staff, all of them, they're taking care of stuff. But I was sitting there, and one of the waiters came up, and I knew he was going to take my order if I wanted anything, and he was about to tell me like necesito, and he stops, and he looked at me and he goes, "Usted es el esposo de Diana Hobbs." And I stared and I go, "Sí, ese soy yo." Like, he didn't tell me, "Are you Gary Hobbs?" From Family and Friends. Usted es el esposo de Diana Hobbs. And oh my God, when I told people I was by myself, I had no witnesses. It's a true story. They're taking pictures with my wife and our staff, and I go, this will probably have to be changed to Diana House Family and Friends Cruise numbers, one. But we had a great time, and I want to send a shout out to all the staff and
Wow.
all the people that helped. Too many people to mention, but really the people that make it work are Tejano cruisers. They love to dance, they love to congregate, and we have so many Tejano family and friends everywhere because of these cruises. And big shout out to Ruben Peña Tejano Loco. He did a great job as
Oh
always.
yeah.
Of course, we had David Ligarza Los Musicales. They're probably one of the most professional bands that I've ever worked with. Big shout out to David Lee and J Rod. And of course, Ram Herrera was on board for the first time with us. He did a phenomenal job with Hector Gutierrez producing their segment with the usual suspects on stage. And it was just Cesar Omar, Johnny Davila, Hector Gutierrez, they all performed and they did a great job. So I'm looking forward to having the problems of picking up a lineup as soon as we can confirm some of the artists, and they got to look at their schedule. And of course,
Yeah.
it's all about the bennies too.
Right. Well, we'll be sure to mention it. So that just let me know, and I'll be sure to
thank
spread.
you for thank you for the plug on that, Lawrence. I appreciate
You got
our.
it, brother. You got it.
Yeah,
I got your back, bro.
I appreciate it.
TDK says, "Hey Gary, can I hear you say Eagle Pass Tejano music? We're in the house, baby."
Eagle Pass, Tejano music. We're in the house, baby.
Ronaldo Hernandez says Gary is the real old school and keep it real. Top of the line. Can't talk Tejano without mentioning Gary Hobbs and his band sounds great live.
Hey,
Uh,
Ronaldo, can we keep the old in small letters, not capital?
Oh,
there you go. Javier Gonzalez, yeah, I just down the way. I'm just down the way from Galveston, so he's ready to head on down there. Bumper
mhm.
Gomez is watching, checking us out. Hey, Bumper, how are you doing? Bumper says, "Saludos, everyone."
Bumper.
Bumper
Hey,
Gomez.
bumper.
Oh my
Living
God.
legend. We love to shoot it. Okay, one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
nicest
yeah,
guys in
yeah.
the industry. Yes, sir.
And he shoots it pretty well.
We're
Bumper.
doing this.
Bumper, you're awesome, Bump. Thanks so very much for joining
Let me just interject something. People like you,
us.
Lawrence, and Bumper, and so many people that have podcasts. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that years ago the technology would allow us to do podcasts and reach out to so many people? That's the good part of the new technology. There's a lot of things that are bad about new technology, but it comes hand in hand. And I again, we were just talking about being nominated for the Latin Grammy, which is a conversation I like for Bumper to stay on and listen to me in a minute. But when we got nominated, the Grammy, who would have thought? 40 years, like I said, it's almost biblical. 40 years, but when we came up with that CD, I mentioned it to Freddie Records. A big shout out to everybody at Freddie Records, of course. Don Freddie Martinez Sr., all the Martinez brothers, my boss Freddie Jr. I never call him Freddie Jr., but Freddie Martinez, and of course Mark and John and everybody, all the staff there, Eli Molina and Mariano Herrera, Roberto Serna, all of them do fantastic work, and of course my producer Hector Gutierrez. But who would have thought that? I asked them. I haven't done several podcasts, and Johnny Davila, who produces our audio podcast, he's been telling me since like 2018 or something. Gary, let's do a podcast. And I go, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't. And look at me now. I'm doing an audio podcast, and there's so many great things coming out of these podcasts. So I congratulate you, and of course Bumpers listening in and or seeing us, and everybody else that promotes Tejano music. Y'all can promote y'all ever whatever y'all want, but don't forget us Tejano musicians and Tejano music. And
Go.
the big shout out to all of y'all.
You have your own Hanging with Gary podcast. This is last week's episode 63. You already uploaded the new one, episode 64, Hanging with Gary Hobbs. You got a bunch of places that you can go ahead and check it out on all the different social media sites that you can go.
Lawrence, I can't imagine what you do and all other podcasters, because at this podcast beach party that we had there at Mr. Sancho's, I got to interview, and I don't have that kind of experience. And I mean, I can shoot the, you know what, but I was able to interview Ruben Peña, Tejano Loco, and of course David Lee Garza and Ramiro Herrera. And so I just, I'm like that. I don't script anything. I don't write down a song list when I perform. It's like, it's not really what I feel, it's what I see people reacting to, but it's also my voice. Am I intact? Am I feeling good? Am I, and so but interviewing these people, and then who? David Ligarza, godfather of Tejano music, arguably, and Ramiro Ramirera, and you find out things that I never. I mean, I'm in the business and I've been around maybe 2 years this side of their career, but they go through things just the way as I do. But to find out things from them and how they started, and how maybe they got a break here and there, it was fascinating. And I always told Johnny Davila that I don't want to become a podcast where I'm interviewing people, but now it kind of like opened up a little, I don't know, a little window where, man, it may be nice to bring in. There's some stories to be told there that people don't. And as time is flying by and we're getting older, some of these Tejano artists haven't really told all their stories. So I've
Yeah.
been approached about doing a documentary, and I go, I can't, because I'd have to name real names and real stuff, and then I'd be,
I, I told you we could just we could bleep them out, bro.
can we wing it?
We can wing it. Vivian Chavez has been on a ship cruise before, but never on a music one. Would love to do it someday. Well, now you have your chance, girlfriend.
Mhm.
Go
There you
ahead and
go.
be there. There you go. Johnny Chanclas. Hey, how are you doing, brother?
Johnny.
Johnny says, question, what's your thoughts on the internet radio? Well, my thoughts really quickly. I have 100,000 listeners a month. Last year I had 1,400,000 listeners. I think it's pretty good. But when I first started out, it sucked because I had some really crappy commercials, like, "Do you have mesothelioma?" You know, and stuff like that.
I
But
have 250,000 haters.
hey,
Hey, Gabriela.
the winner for the new best new female artist or TTMA, Gabriela
In
Martinez. Hello, whoever
in
tagged
the video, in
Hello,
the video of the
Gabriela.
year.
that.
Hmm.
Gabriela, congratulations, Gabriela. You keep doing what you do, girl. I
Hmm.
I want to hear a little bit more Tejano with keyboards, but I heard some of your stuff, and you're so diversified and talented. God bless you. You, my friend, have a high ceiling, and I can't even say the word potential because you're already there. You have that kind of talent and gift, and much good luck and much success. God bless.
There you go, girlfriend. Good job. Good
Hmm.
job. Michelle says, Gary, I save you every time to my friend goes to see you. I have to keep her away from you. Oh, I saved you every time I go to see you because I say I keep her. She keeps her friend away from you. I'm your security. It's-
It's funny, the older you get, you start getting easily scared.
TDK says, I'm with you, Gary. Some beats are just a little too slow for my taste, but I can definitely get down to anything Gary sings. I just need some getting back up.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I have nothing against slower beats, because when we recorded Te Vas a Acordar,
Mhm.
back in whatever, and Charlie Castillon, rest in peace, he was our keyboard player, died at a very young age in a truck accident. And we get the song, we start working on it, and he starts working on an arrangement, and when he brought it to me, the tempo was way slower than what I was used to. And I go, Charlie, this thing is, like, I think a little bit too slow. But he said, no, 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 it'll work. And I go, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And it worked, and it just blew the charts, stuff like that. And so it has nothing to do with slower beats. Now that we play Te Vas a Acordar, we play it just a little bit faster. I know there's a Kings of Cumbia, or
Yeah.
somebody recorded Te Vas a Acordar, and AB Quintanilla produced it, the third. And I go, AB, you took the same arrangement, the same riff, the same piano, da 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 da. Like, what was to produce? But I thought they did a really great job on it. And they're not the first one to record it. I think Secreto recorded it too, and other bands. It's just a great song. It's written by Beto Ramon, originally from Laredo. But so I don't have anything against slower beats, and it just depends on I think the music, right? But again, it's just me and what I think is going to I need to service our audience. I never say fans. I hate that word. Our supporters, our family and friends, Tejano music, and I gotta contend with them, what they like, and they're the ones that are hiring me. They're the ones that are showing up to the shows. I don't care if it's 100 people or it's 800, and it used to be in the thousand in the 90s. But again, it's just that I love Tejano music, and I feel it. What we do is a certain beat, a certain rhythm, and keyboards are definitely still in the mix. And it's funny how keyboards, they cost a lot of money. Will carry 4 or 5 keyboards, totaling like 12, $13,000. If somebody tells me, "Oh, having keyboards, that's old," like
No, just
You
that's
know,
old school. That's
Gary,
you
I love
you
your
you
music.
don't think Bruno Mars uses keyboards or
are you
what?
really serious? Where have you
Or Mark Anthony doesn't use keyboards or what? You know, and
real quick, Hilda? Let me jump in here real quick.
Okay.
Borrado says, "Mr. Legend, Mr. Gary Hobbs, would you do a duet with Sunny Salceda?"
well, I think very highly of Sonny. I think his beats are going like way too fast for what I
Yeah.
do, right? But I could never be on stage and do something with him. I would die. I would die the first 5 seconds. And then I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman that sings with him and plays the congas. He's on
Eric.
Eric. Oh my God, I want to have a heart attack every time I see him dance. Like what they do is phenomenal. It's extraordinary. I don't know if I could. I mean, I know he's been doing country Sonny and stuff
Yeah,
like
he's been
that.
doing some
You
country
you
music.
never know. Except that I'm binded by a recording contract. I had 20 years open window on Amex Records and nobody approached me, so I never bit back. But now it's something definitely to look for. I think the next CD or two that I do want to do some collaborations.
TDK says flip flops are still doing your show. Don't tell them I'm blocked.
Uh,
People are so
Johnny
busy.
Changlas.
Johnny Chancla says, "In time we will start doing our show. I renew it for another 4 years." All right, Johnny. Well, bring it on, brother. We'll be happy to share whatever information that you have. Perla Judith, another
Oh,
singer. Hey, how are you
Perla.
doing? Saluditos. I can't wait
Hello, Perla.
for your new
How are
song,
you?
My Girlfriend. Hope it comes out soon. Gigi La Chicana is joining
Oh,
us
Miss
as well.
Gigi.
Connie Garcia says, Maldito Amor, my song. There you
There
go.
you go.
TDK says, that was very nice of Gary to say. Gabriela Rock, she's going to take over other genres as well. Irma Salvio, I,
Yes.
I hope I'm saying that right. Salvio
Yes.
Perez says, hello. How are you doing, sir? Ma'am,
Hello,
sorry.
Irma.
Fred Muscle Luis 97 says, I love hearing the Tejano band. Of course. Thank you, brother. Lupe says, hello. Oh, she's saying that there. Let's see here. Gary is bringing everyone out. I haven't seen some of these people comment in a while. Hello, Perla G. Thank you so very much, man. That's
I,
cool.
I guess I owe people a lot of money. They're coming. I'm getting a lot of
That's my
inbox
money.
messages.
I know, right? So, but no, it's to me. I mean, I love having you on. Obviously, that's why I called you. I asked you to come on, and you were like, "Hey, can we do it Tuesday?" Of course, we can, anytime. But you know what?
I love I again when Johnny asked me to start doing podcasts, and I know he does the production work, and so I don't put up with what y'all do, a lot of the stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. But I've grown fond of podcasts. I've grown fond of internet radio. When you're someone like me, living off of this since 1983, and it's funny, you need your music on radio. It was terrestrial radio, but there's nothing more frustrating than coming into a town that you got to perform that night and they're not playing your commercial or they're not playing your music, right? And you're hearing the same two, three bands over and over and over, and you learn the business really quick. And so, but when internet radio hit, it was like, man, it sounds like something cool. Like, we'll see where it goes, but it sure has taken on a new form of life for Tejano, and it's a wonderful way of contacting with people because I believe it can just get stronger.
Yeah, actually, when I started just for my guys from my old unit. And then Bumper was actually the one that asked me, well, how many people actually listen to you? And I was like, shit, I don't know. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, that many? Oh, so now I have to really be good. Because at first, ignorant was bliss because I didn't have any idea. I didn't care. I was just doing it because I loved it. And then, well, knowing it was a little bit harder. Bumper goes, ask Gary if he would ever wear the vest with no shirt underneath live on stage like it did back in the day. What are you talking about, Bumper? Whatever
There,
you
there's
do.
a
There's gonna be a
picture of
picture out there.
Oh my
it's
God.
a vest, like
Uh-huh.
and I hide that picture from my grandchildren. I
Oh, so
Hey, Pa, is this you? No, Mika.
Mm, mm,
This is
mm.
Gary Hobbs.
that's the evil man.
Fake. It's fake. Fake news. It's
That-
AI.
it's AI. That's what it is.
Uh-uh.
Bumper, that was harsh, man. You,
No. He's coming at me, but I hope he sticks around because I'm
yeah.
gonna lay it on him in a minute.
Katie Ledesma, how are you doing, girlfriend?
Hello, Katie. Hi,
Welcome, welcome,
Katie.
Katie.
Good to hear.
Mm,
Vivian says, "Great
Well,
interview, Wendy. Yo, thank you so very much." No,
thank you.
and Stevie D is listening to us. Hey, Stevie D, congratulations on your music.
DVD,
Doing really, really well.
Indeed.
handmade,
The other day.
Freddie Records.
Yeah,
There you
there
go.
you go.
Mhm.
Hey, you know
Big
what?
shout out, Stevie.
We're talking about music right now. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Llegaste a mi corazón real quick because that's your recent single that you have going on right now. Because I mean, you've got all these other things going on, of course, which are awesome, of course. But let's not forget that we also want to listen to the song, and so that way you guys can hear it. If you're listening to it on the radio station, or if you're listening to it on the app or on the website, there will be an add to cart button on there. If you can click on that add to cart button, it'll take you to Apple Music. You can go ahead and download the song or buy the song, or you could buy the whole entire album or all of his albums there. I do not make any money from that transaction, but because I participate in the program, I do get a discount on my licenses. I am a fully
I do, Lawrence. Y'all can cash at me.
yeah, there you go. I'm a fully accredited radio station fully accredited with my licenses with ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, and SOCOR. So, with that being said, this is Llegaste a mi corazón from the one and only Tejano legend himself, Gary Hobbs, and we'll be right back after this.
El amor que siento yo por ti es sincero y verdadero. Desde la primera vez que yo te vi, tus ojos me cautivaron. Todo me encanta de ti, te quiero para mí. Qué mujer tan hermosa, qué mujer tan preciosa ha llegado a mi vida. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. Llegaste a mi corazón. El amor que siento yo por ti es sincero y verdadero. Desde la primera vez que yo te vi, tus ojos me cautivaron. Todo me encanta de ti, te quiero para tan hermosa, qué mujer tan preciosa ha llegado a mi vida. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. En mi corazón tú vives, en mi corazón tú vives. Llegaste en mi corazón.
There you go. There you go.
That's a
Yeah,
nice song.
there you go. Katie says, great seeing you, Gary. I've been so long. Your new material kicks butt. Congratulations.
Thank you, Katie Lee. Big shout out to la familia Ledesma,
Yeah.
Brownsville,
Oh,
Texas.
Linda.
Oh, yeah. Linda says, beautiful. Hello, beautiful people. Stevie D, puro Freddy Records nomás. Mira nomás.
Here's Stevie
Yeah.
D.
Very
Uh,
good.
yeah. Borrado says, hey, Mr. Legend, you still got the $1,000 voice. Used to be
Wish it was a, I wish it was a million, but
Sergio Barbosa. Hello, Indio and Gary Hobbs. How are you doing?
Lo Sergio.
Michelle, Gary Hobbs, great music. Lupe says, great song. There you go.
Thank
Uh,
you.
th- lots of hearts and fire. Nobody, you got it,
A
bro.
song written by Don Freddie Martinez Sr. himself, and
Yeah.
course arranged by well, started with Hector Gutierrez, and then Mariano and the boys, the guys, and it's like,
You
again, I'm always surrounded by wonderful, talented people. God's
the
good.
the duet you had with Freddie was y'all song together as well. That was a great song. That did really well.
That is.
Still
He
doing-
wrote that one too.
You wrote that one. Yeah, that's what I say. Still doing well on the show. I mean, on the station. Great to see you, Gary. She
Right.
wrote it. There you go. Beautiful song, says Irma. Let's see here. Great song, says Ana Castillo. Great song, Gary Hobbs. And it's once again you're staying ahead. You're still moving forward. You're still doing stuff. It's still Gary Hobbs. That's one of the things that I love about you. Your music is your music, and it stays your music. You will know Gary Hobbs, your style of music, even though you experiment with new music, like that little reggaeton beat that you put in there, but it's still you. It's still Gary Hobbs, and I think that's what I
Yeah,
appreciate.
we experimented with that, and we'll probably get away from that a little bit on the next one, and try keeping Gary Hobbish music, and
Well, I mean, it's still good. Though. I mean, that's still one thing that for me, it's like it's okay. I can still hear the Gary Hobbs. The very much it's Gary Hobbs there, and that's the one thing that that's what fans love. That's what I love as a fan of Gary Hobbs music. That's what I love is that fact that you are constantly, putting music out there. The musicianship is very tight. Obviously, it was very, very well mastered. And one of the things that I've always said to like a lot of the newer artists, I always tell them, what I really appreciate with some of the people that have come before from the 80s and the 90s is that they have very clean music. It's not just a lot of noise hitting you. There's breath. There's a lot to say with Suda say. There's a lot of pause can see a lot with a pause, and it's great to have it. You don't have to have constant noise. A silence can say a lot. And it's not how loud you get, it's how well you get loud.
Mhm.
So and that's one of the things that I really appreciate. Indio is also on Roku. Yes, Roku TV. Look it up. Tejano Connects. You can check it out there. We have like 23,000 subscribers to our channel, and so come on out and check us out. We're live there, by the way. Jenny Rios, hello Indio. Gary Hobbs, my favorite song, Corazón de Cristal. Uh,
That's
no,
it.
mine's
It's all right. It's not
mine.
mine. Is it Palominos?
Yeah, it is. Las Miradas
Las
is,
Miradas.
yeah. You know, Gary Hobbs, I've never met you. I think I've seen you in Vegas like 2 years ago. Were you there? I think so.
You're at, at
2 years ago, maybe yes. I
You,
think
you're at the
uh,
pool party.
we did.
yeah, at the pool party. Yeah,
It's funny because
you
I just
were.
got a text from David Chavez, the producer,
Uh-huh.
and he's asking me to if I want to do the show this year. And it's always great to be out there because you get to see so many people from the Northwest and from the West
Mhm.
Coast, and we did one year where we did the pool party. I had never done the pool party, but I was already scheduled to perform, and David and Sarah were enough to offer me the pool party so I could fly in and fly out, and I did the pool party. Had a lot
Mhm.
of fun, and then the following year we came back. We did a show on the Friday, and then on Saturday we stuck around. Mi compadre Jaime Sama, who plays bass and sings with us and produces our vocals on the recordings, and mi compadre and I got on stage with the Iconics and we did a tribute to Jimmy. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that was that year.
we had a lot of fun doing that. But it's funny you asked about the Vegas and
Yeah.
to be David just sent me a text. So hopefully we're at the Las Vegas Tejano
Yeah,
takeover this year, Paula Dios.
with this coming year. Well, I'm not usually the kind of person that goes approach people. So I love your music, because I don't like to bother the artist. But you seem like a very, very humble and nice person. So yeah,
It was never like that. It wasn't always like that.
yeah. No, 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 no. And you're just so, I don't know, like Frank Sinatra, like dressed,
Oh
So
my God.
yeah.
The
But I'm
chairman
so
of the
glad that
board.
I'm here
Gary,
with
did you
NDO.
pay her to say that, Gary?
It's a pleasure meeting you.
That's the closest I'll get to Sinatra ever.
No, just a dress, come.
Gary's always been.
Uh,
But
You've
it's
always been one
you're
of the
so
best
humbling.
dressers.
You're so humbling.
Yeah.
no,
So
my wife always dresses me, so I don't worry about wardrobe or
yeah, yeah.
if it's leather or bling or I'm good.
But you're
I
so
just
humbling. I wish I would have just came up to you one day and said, "Hey, how you
um,
doing?"
that's
Yeah.
nice of you.
Jenny Rio says, sorry, I meant vas a acordar de mí. There you go.
It's all good. It's all good. That's a great song from Los Palominos.
Penny,
Hey,
Penny says
I've
every,
said several times I love Los Palominos. They're from the area. They're
yeah.
from Uvalde, Texas. I only have one complaint against them. They've never asked me to Palomino Fest. So
Oh,
is it something that I did, James, or is it something that no, I'm just-
yeah. What do I got to do, brother?
what a brother got to do?
Right? It's just like I asked David Lee one time, hey man, what's up with the Poteet Strawberry Festival? He's like, Lawrence, I don't have anything to do with that, man. I've played it every year, and it's because the guy that puts it on, he likes our music, so he hires us every year. But he's like,
He's probably the chairman of the board on that boutique festival.
he's like, if the guy passes away, we're not coming back. I don't think, because they're going to be tired of us. And I was like, they're synonymous. I was like, I thought it was yours, bro. TDK says, every time we go see Gary Hobbs, I have to remind my sweetheart I'm standing right next to you. Stop you.
Oh my God. It's not a pretty sight sometimes.
Ronaldo
I have
Hernandez, he says,
bad
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I have bad hair days, I have bad voice days, I have, I
And what about that vest?
What about the vest?
no that vest was retired way
That
last century.
Ronaldo Hernandez says, Mr. Gary is established in La Onda Tejana and can play anything, and his fans will enjoy it because they know he is Tejano to the max. Venga Fe was a big hit and made in the USA. There you go. That's cool.
May- More like made in Texas.
Made in Texas, right? Linda Granado, all your songs are awesome, Gary. Blessings, much blessings.
Thank you so
Maricruz
much.
Ramos, saludos, Gary, listening from Lansing, Michigan. There you go.
Lansing, Michigan.
You go. And hello to Anna. Thank you for sharing, guys. You know what? I will tell you right off. It's a pleasure having you here, Gary. I know you're a very busy person, and thank you so very much for giving us your time, man. I really do appreciate you. But it would be an injustice without letting people know that if you want to get some more information, especially I know we always say stream the music, go ahead and request the music, request it on our show. I am a fully accredited radio station. You do get the artists do get royalties whenever I play the music. Um, but the best thing for you to do is actually buy the music from the artists themselves. They actually get more money that way as opposed to buying it from Spotify or anything else like that. Because you're just renting the song. You're not actually paying for the song. If you buy the album from Gary Hobbs, you'll make him you're more happy, and you're a true fan because you're buying the album. And if you want to do that, you can go ahead and go to the one and only Gary Hobbs website right there. Gary Hobbs, that's a QR code. Take you to GaryHobbs.com. And
I like that.
thank you very much, bro. I worked really hard on that. I did the whole speech and everything. I even used my radio voice, GaryHobbs.com. So, yeah, that's where you can go and buy the song and buy the album. All of his albums are there. He's got his merch there and everything else. It's a wonderful website. I like your website, man. It's very well done.
We need to work on it. Johnny Davila, I have him running in five directions, and he works for the Kickapoo Nation, on the government side, and he does videos and podcasts. He's got his own band. He's a great singer and sax player. He's a Dale Play show band here in Eagle Pass, and it's just sometimes our schedules like I'm up at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm ready to do it. And well, he's barely getting an hour, 2, 3 to rest. But yeah, the websites and stuff, we have GaryHobbs.com. We also have GaryHobbsCruise.com. And we're on all the social media pages, Facebook, Gary Hobbs Official, and Twitter, which is X, Gary Hobbs Official, Instagram, Gary Hobbs Official. And we just started doing TikTok maybe like 2 months ago. And that's Gary Hobbs official, and so many fake accounts. I can't believe it out of TikTok. Like every other day, I'm getting inboxes and texts. I don't respond to Facebook, the inbox messages. I got hacked once, and I never went back to that. So people come up to me. I've been sending you texts, and no, I show them. No, well, I mean a message, and I go, well, I don't respond to the messages on Facebook. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But anyway, Gary Hobbs official. He has a
They say I was asking for money,
Yeah.
but just send it. But be sure it comes to me.
all right.
Don't send it to the
No,
wrong place. Yeah.
yeah, you'll know. I mean, like when we were running the benefit for that, you were raising the money for the for the barbecue pits. That was legitimate. That was
That was
legitimate.
legit.
That was a
And when
legitimate.
and when we raffled it out, or it went live, and
Yeah.
that was just amazing, amazing that you know
Yeah. So
Chivalrama got the guitar. I think it's his third guitar that he wins on these raffles.
Who was
And
that?
then the second place was Martha Meek. And then first place was her son, Kyle Meek. They're from Round Rock, although Kyle lives in Houston, I think. But that was just like, oh my God. Same family won the two top prizes. And I go, my God, well, there you go. But it was live. It was,
it wasn't fake. Everybody was there to see it.
nope, everybody was there to see it. So,
There you go. There you go. And Martha, let's see, Martha. I don't know how to say your last name. Week. I'm sorry.
that's Martha Meek.
Meek, how are you doing, Martha? Scene Film is an awesome album.
Yeah.
Every song is great. Thank you very much, Martha. Martha, do you want to sell that grill, Martha?
I had a couple of people asking me that same thing. I go, no, I'm not gonna be asking her. I asked her one time just for a friend of mine, but I didn't want to put her up, with that kind of a decision. But they're wonderful people. In fact, we're playing for them this weekend for Martha's birthday. So celebrating her birthday in Round Rock Saturday. Con el favor de Dios, they're wonderful people that supported us, and we're looking forward to seeing them this Saturday.
Is that a private gig or is it going to be at a venue?
Well, I thought it was a private, but Martha's been inviting like everybody I know. So I but it's a private event, yes.
Antonio Vega says, saludos de parte de West Texas Explosion.com. How are you doing, Anthony? And put down your details down there, Anthony, where when that event is going to come on. I know you have Elida's. She's going to perform there, and it's here in this area where I live.
I'd like to make a statement that I will definitely not be retiring anytime soon. Unless the good Lord takes me. I have grandchildren and they got to go to college. They're gonna go to college. I don't care what they say. I don't say they're going.
You're going to college. I think my kids. I've asked them, "Are you going to go to college?" And they're like, "Dad, you have 4 degrees. You've got enough college for all of us."
And you're on a podcast.
Wait, hey, hold on. That doesn't excuse you. No, but I mean, they're happy with their life. I suggest it, but it's one of them. Richie Balderrama. Richie, how are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much for joining us. Let's see here. Michelle Ann says, happy birthday, Martha.
Good friend of ours, Richie. Good friend of ours.
Yeah, love Richie. And
I met him last week.
Yeah, Richie, did you get your CD from Rick? I gave it to him. Erica Garcia says, hi. How are you, Erica? Nice to see you again.
Hello, Erica.
And with Ray, his wife. Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Ray.
Yeah, great guy. Richie, by the way, he does say saludos. He was here earlier, so there you go. But no, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and give you the floor, brother, so that way you can go ahead and remind everybody what it is, or say your shout outs and everything. I just want to remind people.
No, I'm not. Okay, that our cruise, our Gary Hobbs Family and Friends cruise, that's number 7, Lucky 7. And it is going to Rotan, Honduras, Costa Maya. It is going to Cozumel. We're still trying to plan out the activities. We always have 5, 6 activities and dances, and those dances are at night. They extend like 2, 3, 4 hours. Sometimes it just depends on the availability of the venue on the ship. But we have a meet and greet party. We have a 70s and 80s where everybody gets dressed up. I personally went as Ricky Smith from La Movida, but I mean, everybody showed up. David Lee showed up dressed up, and Cesar Martinez showed up dressed up. But I thought it was Chacha Jimenez. I don't know. But Tejano Locos does a great job on there. It's just like people really, the last 3 cruises have really been going out on that 70s, 80s party. It's just, I've worn platforms, I've worn bell bottoms, I've worn wigs, I've worn, but it is coming February the 1st to the 8th.
Yeah.
But that's 2026. And you can visit us at GaryHobbsCruise.com. And our official travel agent, Happy Mireles, of course, the phone number's there, 469-450-1168. happymtravel@gmail.com for any questions. But GaryHobbsCruise.com is going to be updated really soon. And those people that they keep asking for the lineup, and we just secured the venue. So we're working on all of that. But we'll be announcing some artists pretty soon. And yes, New Year's Eve, we are in Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas. Oak Cliff at Players Sports Bar. Come on over, greet the new year 2025 with Tejano music. Yours truly, Gary Hobbs.
There you go. Great. And then don't forget the podcast. You can see it there, GaryHobbs.com. You can see it on
Hanging with Gary. It's nothing but Gary and nothing but Tejano music, and
there you go.
And we give our opinions on how to rule the world, and
no holds bar.
I still hope we have time, because I need to address Bumper in a minute, because then Bumper thinks I shy away. I don't shy away from from anybody. But hey, so the Latin Grammys, we were talking that we came out of the desert 40 years, and we get stiff competition. I mean, Jay Perez and Juan Trevino is a great songwriter. Uh, I am looking forward to recording a song or two, and I'll let the cat out of the bag. I even invited Juan to collaborate with me on the next album. And he's got that kind of a voice, and I want him singing something that he wrote, but we wanted keyboards. And I'm hoping that he does, follow through, and we follow through with it. But but Juan was on the nominations, of course. Of course, he won, and I don't think they're Tejanos, you know. And now this year, Gabriela was in the running with two other bands, El Plan, and I forgot who the other. But I thought, like, where's the fourth and fifth nomination? Where's all the people that are registered and going to these mixers? And you know what? I'm guilty of not going to these mixers. I never even find out when the mixer is, and I should be calling. Yes, you can't complain who won the president of the United States unless you voted. You know. Okay. And you can't complain about the Latin Grammys unless you're a part of the Latin Grammys and you participate. But I made a comment on our podcast that, where's the Conjunto album of the year at the Latin Grammys? Where's that? Because they have a lot of followers. They should be recognized. But in the Tejano, Norteño album of the year was Frontera. Can we all agree that they have great music? I think they're phenomenal. I mean, I would love to share a stage with them. Of course, they're only doing arenas, and they are great, but they're not Tejano. Tejano people love Frontera. That does not make them Tejano. If George Strait keeps singing Yo, Sigo siendo el rey in Spanish, that doesn't qualify him that he's Tejano music. And so with this Latin Grammy, I thought Gabriela should have taken it because she was the closest thing to Tejano, and she did a fantastic job. And so, but El Plan has won, I don't know, 2 out of the last 4 or 5 years. And I've listened to the music and I think they're great, but I don't think they're Tejano. And that's my 2 cents worth. And it'll probably, end the show with a controversy. But but it's like, Bo Jackson. Remember Bo Jackson?
Yeah, I remember.
He knows ball, right? Well, Hobbs knows Tejano. It doesn't matter what podcasters or radio station people say. When they took over Cacucuca in Houston, that was Tejano. It wasn't, and they gave it up. Yeah. So let's try and merge it if possible, but don't call that Tejano. It's sorry. It's great music. Bruno Mars just sang something in Spanish. Does that make him Tejano, or does it make him, in the Spanish market? No, it's, we got to defend what's ours, right? And I defend it because else it'll be gone. But Tejano music does not have to be all full of keyboards. It does not. But the beat of the whole, what encompasses album of the year, not one song, album of the year. Right. A whole album. The contents on the album was not Tejano. So, but congratulations, they did win.
Well,
I take it away from them doing a great job and recording it and selling and promoting out there, but it's not Tejano, brother. And so that's my pick with Bumper, because I'm sure I'll hear from him in a minute. Checking the text, Bumper.
Well, one of the things that I've told people is that, I'm Native American and I fell in love with Tejano music because of the musical structure. I hear music first before I hear the lyrics. I don't understand the lyrics. I have to hear the music first. Mm-hmm. So I gauge music by what I hear as far as the music itself, quality, and also the structure. That's how I can tell you what norteño is, why I say it's formulaic, why I say that this is merengue, that's bachata, because I know the formula. I hear it. I don't know what they're saying. Yeah, I mean, half of the stuff they're saying it too fast for me to figure it out. If they say amor 4 times, this one song, it reminds me of my wife. I said, this song is a love song, right? And she's like, no, dude, this is such a breakup song. And I was like, she said amor 4 times. And she's like, no, she's breaking up. But the structure, if I can tell you what I feel is Tejano music and what is not, because I hear Tejano music as
I,
Tejano music. And
I don't even know why this conversation is brought up. What's Tejano, what's not. I thought, it's sort of like country. When I was young and I was listening to country, and I knew George Jones was country. I knew that Kenny Rogers was, and George Strait, definitely the king of country. But there was such a thing as country and Western, and now it's country, and now today's country sounds like pop rock from the '80s,
right,
and that doesn't mean, because it's my opinion, it doesn't mean that it's not great music. I mean, they're the ones that are selling out arenas and selling out records, millions of records. We're not talking about that. We're talking this, music has to change,
yeah,
but what was rock and roll became rock, and now it's whatever. And so, but I don't know why we have this conversation that every time we say something about defending our music, it becomes a racist thing. And, and we're, and, man, you're talking to the wrong dude, man. My name is Gary Hobbs, and I do Tejano music, and I'm proud of it. But our music, Tejano, is something that it's not the norteño, it's not the Nortex sound, it's not the Tex-Mex sound, it's not, Tejano Music Awards, and yet, they don't want to be called Tejanos, but they don't mind being at Tejano Music Awards or winning and stuff like that. They don't want to be called Tejanos. Ask them. Ask those bands personally, what is your music?
yeah.
Ask them personally. I hope someone would have the fortitude to ask them, hey, do you consider your music Tejano? Well, I'd be really interested to see what they said, right? But to what I think Tejano is, that, I don't even know why that question is being asked. And then us being, I listen to Christian Nodal. Wow, what a phenomenal singer. Phenomenal music, you know. We could turn some of that into Tejano, but he's not Tejano, and if you ask me, are you Tejano, Gary? Yeah, I'm Tejano. I defend Tejano. And but I don't know why that conversation. Why that when they ask me, what do you think about El Plan? Well, I think it's really really good music. I think it was recorded great. I think they did phenomenal, but I don't think they're Tejanos. But
Bumper says Frontera is Tejano. I really just say it to Gary to get Gary all spun up, get controversial. Get-
yeah, bumper. But Gabriela should have won that last one.
yeah,
And the one before that, I really do think Juan deserved it. And I thought, coming out of the stall, coming out of the bat, I thought, man, going up against Jay, I saw and I go, oh my God. And then I saw Juan's name. And the other two bands, without no disrespect, I haven't heard their music, but I have seen their names before, but I go, who's representing us at those mixers and what at the Latin Grammys? Like, dang, like,
that's that. Yeah, Alfredo says I totally agree with Gary. Ronaldo says it's like BB King winning country music. Good point.
well, I don't see that one at all, but
Well, I mean, if he were to
but
win,
yeah,
I 100% agree with Gary. Mr. Legend needs Kako back to Tejano.
Oh my God.
Gary,
I mean,
100%
Yes,
just.
yes, yes,
I think a lot of people are agreeing with you, brother.
yes.
Just because you're from
well,
Texas and sing Spanish does not make it Tejano. Some people want to put them in the Tejano category just because they're popular, and that's incorrect. Gary Hobbs is Tejano music. Thank you so very much. Lupe Benavides says, I grew up in Chicago. Tejano and Conjunto is what I grew up to. Norteño is different cultural experience.
well, the norteño is great too. There's a lot of great norteño music,
I, I,
but but
I,
but there,
have a strict
you
rule.
ask anybody that really knows, there's a difference between Tejano and
Oh, yeah.
Conjunto.
Oh, yeah.
There is. There really is. Why
Mhm.
isn't there a Conjunto category at the Latin Grammys? If you say Tejano music, they're encompassing Conjunto into that. So the prerequisites are there, but with the Latin Grammys, I just, oh my God, I beg to differ, sir, but
Does our vote
again, I
matter?
mean, they say it's dead, but man, we got Ram Herrera, we got David Ligarza, we got JPEG is we have, a lot of bands that aren't being recognized who are, you have to be associated with music in recording,
Hmm.
and you have to participate. You have to be accepted into it, but you have to participate by paying your, the dues, and but you have to be in the industry. So maybe the lack of participation from the Gary Hobbs and the Rams and the whoever, maybe that's where it's at. But those people that are already there, don't you really know what the difference between Tejano and Conjunto and Norteño? You,
It's the I see, honestly, I see this because I've been invited to the mixer there in Austin, and I've been to a couple of them. But the thing is this: what I see is very much like a conclave, like the hotel industry. The hotel industry in the United States is majority of it is Indian, the dot, not the feathers. I'm Native American. You know what I'm saying? But that culture has pretty much surpassed ownership of almost all of the hotel industry in the United States. If you look at the winners of the Latin Grammys, you're going to tell me that the Caribbean creators are 98% of the creators of Spanish music. They're all from Puerto Rico, from the Caribbean islands, and they're not from anywhere else. There's very few that come from Spain. There are very few that come from Mexico. Most of them are from the Caribbean. Why is that? Because they're the most active. They're the ones that have cornered the market. And if you go back and think about all the people that are active, it really didn't become, you know, as where it is now until people that were from that area that started pushing it. Look at Emilio Estevez when he started, and Estefan, not Estevez, Estefan, Emilio Estefan, when he started doing his thing, and then he was pushing it. But if you look at it, these are the people that are voting all of this stuff in, but they're very active. If we're not active
yeah.
doing our music, then we have to we have no one else to blame but ourselves. But they have absolutely no problem putting in a name that they have no idea who they're talking about. El Plan has not. They've done two songs that are close to Spanish. A remake of Jay Pettis's song. I can't remember the name of the song. And what was the other one? Oh, they did Juan Sabor. They did a remake of Juan Sabor.
I do want to say something before it passes me.
Mhm.
This is just nothing but one opinion, one guy. I don't have to win at the Grammys. In fact, I never won. I'm not. I was never that guy. I wasn't the guy winning and winning and winning at the awards. I'm the guy that's been out there working, performing wherever they hire me. I do my job. I don't have to promote myself. I don't have to be headlining a show. I am who I am. I'm blessed. I'm comfortable being who I am. But if that is putting a top on some young artist, I mean, the Gabriela Martinez are very few and far, coming up, with that kind of talent. But there's a lot of other artists that, they may have had a album, album, not a song, an album that was Tejano because they're in the industry, but they don't get recognized.
Correct.
So it sounds like I'm fighting for me, but I don't need to fight for me. I don't. I do what I do, and I'm good with that. But there's a lot of bands that have been overlooked. 41 years in Tejano music, and I won one Tejano Music Award. So I guess my people have never voted for me. I'm good with that. They hire me, I go and I perform. I was never nominated for the Latin Grammy except once. I went to Freddie Records. And I went to Freddie Records because after 20 years of Amex Records, to get these people friends, I thought if I had good music recorded and it was balanced on, it was Tejano, I was going to get played by radio just by who I was. Well, I was dead wrong. And in 20 years, we couldn't create hits. So I saw Freddie Records, and man, all their artists get a fair shake of it, and it gets out there. And I ran into Don Freddie Martinez at a Spurs game, and the story is true. I ran into him at a Spurs game, and I kind of startled the man. I came up to him. Don Freddie, Gary Hobbs, we'll see. And like always, he's always been so gracious with me. And, 3 5 minute conversations. And he told me, so te fresca, ahí estamos, and the next thing you know, Hector Gutierrez, our producer and our friend, he's doing work with Freddie Records. And before you know it, well, the phone calls were made, and I went and I said, I'm coming to Freddie Records because I need that monkey off my back. I don't want to be talking to program directors, and so they do that dirty work, and all of a sudden we're nominated for a Latin Grammy, and we have songs on the radio again. What happened to 20 years for Amex Records? Well, Gary, you just don't have that kind of pull. Well, so I'm not that artist that won the awards and stuff like that, but when I speak for Tejano music, I speak it, and I defend it for a genre, for the bands that may come up that aren't coming up right now. It's the popular thing. They're doing more norteño or regional music, and all of that is good. I'm good with it, but I know there's a lot of talent that is trying to break into Tejano, and they don't have the opportunity. And I hear it all the time. Young bands, we don't never get the chance. We don't get the opportunities to perform, or all I can say is you need to keep grinding. Don't cry about it. Keep working. Keep getting out there. I would say other words, but don't be complaining. Just do it. Just do it. I know it sounds like a Nike commercial, right? But
no,
you got to get out there.
Yeah.
You got to look for y'all. Some of you young artists are so talented, but y'all can't keep a band together. You got to find a way. You put it in prayer, but there's a lot of talent. Oh my God, there's a lot of talent out there. Youngsters, 20, 30-year-olds, and they can't seem to get it together, but it's not them. They're not getting the help from media. You can go after the likes all you want, but but you gotta have content. You gotta have material. You gotta have videos and stuff. You gotta get out there and just do it. And I bet you before we'll have a whole set of new stars and superstars in the making, and hopefully Tejano music survives this and keeps growing.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I think I go after. I don't go after, but I host a lot of music that I do because of the fact that I believe that people need to have an opportunity to hear good music. I've even told you this before. I have all of your albums, but I play a lot of your songs that didn't get released because they're good songs. They didn't. You came from an era where they would do 10 songs and you'd release one or two and move on to.
Let me interject something right there. See, the last two albums, the first one with Freddie and the one before that, Lo Que Amo. I think I wrote like 6 songs on one and 6, 7 on the other. So that's 13 songs and 2 albums, and I had maybe like 3 releases on them, right? But if you listen to it, it doesn't mean that they're great. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you listen to it and you like it, but my writing is not the same writing like as in the 90s, right? And maybe people got so used to Tejano, amor, y que tu calor, y te quiero, me quieres, but it was a lot deeper, these last 2 albums, and their original stuff, and it didn't get the fair shake. Now music is changing, but you're right. There's a lot of people that need to. I was gonna say, oh my God, Lawrence, you bring on people that nobody knows, including me. We all need the help. We all need the push. But you're right. You're playing songs of ours that didn't get to be on radio. And I was having that conversation with Jaime, mi compadre, bass player, and that their songs that we recorded, we never did live. And I mean, 29, 30, 31 albums, that's at least 300 plus songs. And of course, we're not going to be able to play that, but there's a lot of material there that somebody will ask me, I do write bad music. I wrote a cumbia named La Huila in the 90s, and it was because I was making fun of the industry. A lot of bands were recording cumbias that were comical, and I can write something like that too. And oh my God, all of a sudden, once in a great while, I'll have somebody come up to me and say, hey, can you play La Huila? And I go, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. you know. So
Well,
it's up to
Yeah,
you if
I firmly believe that a lot of this music, because music doesn't have an age, just people need to have the opportunity to fall in love with music. That's what they need to do. And if we don't give them that opportunity, then how can they possibly know what they like?
big
I'm
shout out Ruby Ann.
Yeah, I'm not of that person
absolutely.
that likes to dictate to people what they hear, what they don't hear. That was the old times. I remember being in the business back in the day, as a program director in San Angelo, where that was the way it was, and I didn't believe in that because I was like, how do you know what is a song a hit or not? The people will tell you. You can't get
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a foreign concept for a lot of people. They were like, you don't know what you're talking about, and all this other stuff. Like, what are you talking about? But with this one, I am able to I've had people say, and actually, Alfredo even said it to me. He was like, he was listening to my radio station. He turned to his wife and he says, "Hey, you know that song? That's Shelly Lares. They'd never heard that song before, but it's because it's something that didn't get played a lot. But that's the key thing. Good music needs to be played. It's just good music. That's all it is. Just good music, and that's what we should embrace, and that's giving everybody an opportunity, new bands, old bands, and everything, because I know your music, Gary. I've known you for forever. I know all of your music, so I know what you have, and I know a lot of your music was really, really good. Is still really, really good. I shouldn't say was, is really, really good. But the fact that people want to quantify everything by, well, he's only had two or three hits. That's not true. You've only know of the hits that they've given you the opportunity to listen to. Listen to
yeah. That reminds me, Lawrence. That reminds me of what we were talking about a little while ago about Gabriela. You know, I heard some of her songs on her album that was nominated, and she's pretty diversified. And I know Dusty and Mariano produced a lot of the music, and they're just phenomenal, right?
yeah,
But that reminded uh, me of Mean and other bands in '83. You listen to that first album of ours, the second album. I mean, I was recording "Give It to Me, Baby" by Rick James, and I was recording "Maniac" by Michael Sembello. We had a variety of music, and maybe that's what helped us, you know. But then we got into a groove of recording nothing but original, and people want to hear that. If
right.
I go to a performance and I don't do, miradas, ámame, bésame, maldito amor, te vas a acordar, a string of 8, 10 songs, I'll hear it from somebody, and I'm there to please them because they're the ones that paid the show. Again, regardless if there's 10 or 100 people or 250 or whatever, but it's those people that we have to, make them feel at home with us, right? But Gabriela and other artists like that's probably what's needed, to do a variety of stuff. But don't forget the Tejano.
Yeah,
I always used to say, Selena, my God, have we ever seen an artist like that? Honestly, and we were there, to witness it, firsthand,
firsthand.
you
Yeah,
know. But once Selena went, I mean, big internationally and everywhere into South America, she was everywhere, right? I thought she was going to be the next and bigger than Gloria Stefan, but she was going to cross over into English, and her material sounded really good for that, that era. But my question is, would Selena have ever returned to record something Tejano Ranchera? Ya ves, así lo quisiste, ya ves. Fuiste tú quien heriste. Would she have ever done a Tejano Ranchera? I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. And
She had
that's a question to ponder. That why have a lot of the artists given up on Tejano Rancheras? Tejano style. Cumbias are cumbias. I don't care if you slice it or you add, you know, uh, beats to it or stuff. Cumbia is freestyle dancing. Again, I don't really care what you think, but it's freestyle.
yeah,
Cumbias are cumbias. They're different genres that are doing cumbias. But the Tejano ranchera, and again, it's just the beat. It doesn't have to be nothing but keyboards. No, I never said that.
yeah,
But there's going to be artists that are they're going to record with keyboards and record other styles of music, and it's been done by many bands, not just me in '83. Other bands were doing it. and I think they're onto something, and they sure need to explore what their public is going to ask, and then sooner or later demand from them. You know.
Lupe says, I wish people would support Tejano and Conjunto music like they do other music industries. People will pay $100 to see other music genres, but they won't pay $20 to support Tejano and Conjunto music. Very well said,
Okay,
my brother.
okay, there goes my 2 cents for these young for these young for these young bands getting out there. You got to know your worth. You know, you're not going to charge no $5,000, $10,000 when you don't really deserve it at the door. But once you start getting popular, the first time a promoter hires you for $3,000, you will be the $3,000 band the rest of his life or her life.
Yeah.
So you got to take it when it comes. You got to be fair market value, but respect yourself and defend what's yours, because people out there will abuse it. They'll abuse the young bands, and I went through it. A lot of bands went through it. They're still going through it today. But there's some really down to earth promoters that help you, and they're fair, and they're well balanced here, and they will promote you. But you got to be careful coming up the totem pole, because once you accept something with a certain person, you're that $3,000 band the rest of your career, the rest of his life. So just
Yeah. Baldemar Muniz says, just loving the Tejano scene and enjoying Gary Hobbs' interview. Lupe says, I lived in Chicago for 42 years, and the only time I got to enjoy Tejano and Conjunto music was Mexican Fiesta in Milwaukee.
Mexican Fiesta in Milwaukee.
So, Ruby Ann says, Gary needs to do a duet with Ruby Ann. Wink, wink. I heard she's yeah, there you go, Ruby. Orlando Cardenas says, Puro Tejano. How are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much
Rolando.
for being here, bro. TDK says Tejano rancheras are my favorite, of course. Saludos to Lupe Benidi. So that's Orlando saying saludos. Shout out, it's Tejano time. Shout out from DFW. Big fan of Gary Hobbs. Just a reminder, Gary Hobbs will be in the DFW area for
Mhm.
New Year's. Lupe says hello to Heather Jolines is in the house. He says saludos, Hilda. It's good to see
Hello.
Lawrence, and you guys are great. Thank you so very much,
Yeah.
sweetheart. Este, shout out to Chi Town, to Chicago. Alfredo says, I love Tejano Rancheras. It's so awesome. As a musician, I listen to every single instrument. Alfredo, the Loon Mescan, he is part of a band called Grupo Fijo. He plays the bass, and his granddaughter is Ellie, who sings with
Oh.
Gladys, so she's a great talent herself. So young, man, 13 years old, bro. She's already got 3 singles out. And so TDK says, Ricky, what time is it? Oh, talking to a different person. Mari, Tejano to the bone is in the house. Mari Rivera.
Mari.
Hey, Mari, how you doing, sweetheart? No, you spoke a lot of truth, brother. It
Well,
is
that
true.
Tejano Ranchera, Lawrence, who doesn't love dancing to a medley mix of Mas, and Jake Perez and Jimmy Gonzalez, David Ligarzo Los Musicales, Ram Herrera, Gary Gott. Yes, we're older artists, but that just proves that, people are dancing to it. It's something that's very ours as a community, Tejano music, and
Yep.
and these young artists are so talented, and they're being influenced by yes Nortex, but they're being influenced by hip hop too, R&B. You can imagine if they're incorporating that, and but still recording Tejano rancheras.
Yep.
Just that was my whole beef, that
Mhm.
don't forget the Tejano rancheras, man. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you do nothing but cumbias now. Well, then you're a cumbia band. You're not Tejano. It's again, that's just my opinion. This show, I'll sign the waiver. These are solely the
My
opinions of
ratings go
Gary
down,
Hobbs.
brother. No, Gary. You know what? We are all entitled to our opinion. We all have our feelings and everything else. But
Damn, and I have a lot of them, don't
well,
I?
it's genuine, first of all, and secondly, what person has the right to take other person's identity away? We are all individuals, and none of us are more than others. We are all equal here. No man is an island, and no one person represents everyone. When you paint everyone with by the representing of one, then it's wrong. It's like saying all police officers are bad because that one police officer treated you wrong. That's incorrect. That one person is wrong, but the rest of them are still good. You cannot do that. So everyone has their right to be able to express themselves the way they want to. That is why people like me have stood on the wall and said, no one's going to mess with you today. No one's going to hurt you today. You have the right to say what you want to. People do things that I don't like as a patriot, but I know they have that right because I was on the wall. And that's what people deserve. We should be human to each other. And by the way, I agree with a lot of what you said, so it doesn't matter to me what if they don't like it or not. I'm sorry, Hilda.
No, no,
We're gonna say, sweetheart.
I
no,
seem
listen,
to,
I agree with you too. Like,
I seem to piss off people, but Tejano music is great. We work every weekend. We see people enjoying themselves, and we love Tejano music. The comments that I've made sounds bleak because I don't think that some people give us, and not just me personally, I could care less, but they don't give us a fair shake. And there's artists that need to be supported. There's artists that music coming up needs to be heard, and it is our culture. You don't
Yeah,
want to think of it like that, but that's on you. I could care less.
yeah,
But Tejano music is great. I mean, man, Marcos Orozco is a guy that, man, you listen to him, he makes his public dancing the whole time.
yeah.
He's Tejano 100%. There's no question in him. There's so many artists. I mentioned all those names, and Marcos is one of them. They got great music. They're phenomenal artists. But Stephanie Montiel, she just won Entertainer of the Year. Congratulations, Steph.
Definitely.
She's phenomenal. And I told her once, pound for pound, and I didn't want to say that like I thought she was short or weight, or I really meant it. I thought pound for pound, I thought she's up there, and
yeah.
I think it's way long overdue, for her to
Correct.
be recognized or in the mix every year.
Definitely. And you need to be up there as well. I love
No, I'm not that guy. I don't care. I'm not that guy.
you do. I love dancing the
I
rancheras
how
and
can I be nominated for a Latin Grammy and then not be nominated at the Tejano Music Awards for our CD, Sin Fin?
I well,
But
we already had that conversation
I
off camera.
oh yeah, I have problems. I have problems sleeping, but not because of that.
The only song I enjoyed dancing was with Stephanie Montiel, and it was Gary Hobbs' song. Yeah,
Oh my
Simplemente
God.
Amigos, that's the one. Lawrence, you're a better peach. Thank you so very much, Mr. Legend. Who is the person that gave you the nickname Hazel Eyes? Devil himself.
Well, I don't know about the devil part, but
Mm.
she, Lawrence and Hilda, I kind of cringe. Look, let me do it again. I cringe because nobody's ever called me borrado. That's not my nickname.
No,
That's something someone came up with. El borrado de Eagle Pass. And
yeah,
then some people that don't know that I have hazel eyes, the blue-eyed singer, the blue-eyed devil,
Blue
like
Eyed Devil.
I heard that for Joe Lopez sometimes, but I never heard it for me once or twice. But people just took off on that, and. But you know what? One thing I always ask people every gig or at every award show or every interview is I needed to make them understand that to me it was very important to say from Eagle Pass, Texas, please welcome Gary Hobbs, right?
Mhm.
George Lopez, who I, you know, don't care for anymore. But George Lopez was up and coming, and he was hosting the Tejano Music Awards, and he comes up on our segment and he introduces us, and he says and I thought he knew how to read. It could be a joke, it could be a misprint, could have been him just acting on the fly, but he said el borracho de Eagle Pass, Texas, and I go, this guy just called me a borracho,
No.
on at the awards. So George Lopez, you know,
Actually, you know what's funny?
God bless him.
Yeah.
I met him there at the awards, and then like 2 3 months later, no, it was like a month later. He was here in San Angelo, and I went to say hello to him, and we talked for like 15 20 minutes at the awards, but it was like, no, I don't remember you. And I was like, interesting. And at the time, I had hair down to the middle of my waist, and most people remembered me because of my hair. So I was just kind of, mm, he
But
must.
when you talk comedy, there's no limit there. You shouldn't take it like that. Comedy is comedy, and so he was hard to do a job, but el borracho. But that spun off from somebody calling me el borrado, and nobody's ever called. I mean, I've been called a lot of bad things. I've been called a lot of things, but my nickname was never borrado. Nobody ever calls me. Some people will call me oye güero, like güero. I have some very 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 few friends that'll tell me oye güero, onde andas, or but el güero maybe, but never el borrado. And so how that came to be is like, I just take it in stride,
Yeah,
but not borracho.
I, I actually, I used to say just Gary Hobbs because borrado was always a hard word for me to say. And actually, borrado, my friend, he's a DJ in Houston, and I send him music, and I tell him play it at the club so that way I can get a real understanding of if it's going to be a hit or not. But I just call him B because it's still a hard. I have to practice it all day in order for me to get it, and if I don't, then
You
it.
have to be careful with the B word, because the B,
Yeah, you never know. Juan Narves, he says, "Saludos desde Ruskin, Florida. How are you doing?"
man, saludos, Florida. So
Yeah.
many wonderful people in Florida that, you know, still support Tejano music.
Mhm.
Lupe says, when I lived in Chicago, I played Tejano and Conjunto music. My friends would ask me to change the music. I would tell them, if you don't like it, you could go leave. That's cool. That's interesting. Saludos, Gary, from San Benito, Texas. Joe Oliva, the home of the Texas Conjunto Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Brother, I have been there. They gave me a private tour, and I'm telling you, this place is amazing. They really went all out. They took care of everything. They've got one of the original presses. They've got like the old 45 sleeves. They got everything. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a great place to go visit.
Why isn't there a Tejano Music Hall of Fame like that?
Ugh,
From
Big
what
shout out Joe Avila.
from
Again,
what
there
I
I
am,
am. There I am defending Tejano music. There I
don't
am.
they have one in Austin? No?
from what I understand, there's a lot of Tejano legend groups,
Chapters.
chapters. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's been talked about, but I am not in that circle anymore. I actually I did a like 35 interviews. I'm putting together a documentary on Tejano legends and how it all began, from their perspective. Um, and them just giving me stories and just piecing it all together. And that's a good question. I don't have an answer to that question, but
I'm going to find out for you.
I did ask what was the
I'll
why
get back to you on that.
I'm going to find out.
no, I asked why not, and it's a good question, because people, they kind of like some of the new artists. They don't realize that Selena wasn't the person that started Tejano music. There was a lot of people before her, and so it's kind of, you have to tell them, hey, have you heard
Yeah.
this? Have you heard this song? You know, and so then you're like, oh wow, yes sir, he do. I do live stream for my DJing, and he'll be drinking it too. I'm not drinking, bro. I don't drink. So Lupe says, my primo Gilbert Esquivel hosted Tejano Takeover in Vegas. Oh, cool. Yeah. There is one in Alice, Texas. The Conjunto.
Yeah, the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm a member since 2008, 2009, but I met like a building, and you said it fixed it up really nice. And
Yeah.
again, if it's not funded, if it's not supported, it kind of becomes hard for it just to fall down on one or two, three people.
Yeah.
Sort
Very
of
true.
like a lot of these committees for anything, any festival, you have one or two, three people working their butts off, and they got a committee of 10 people and they all do what they can, but
Yeah.
some people have more time or more money than others. But it'd be nice to, again, I'm not that guy. I don't need to be in that Hall of Fame. It'd be nice. There are people, there are artists that started this, and the Brown Sound, Little Joe, of course, and
Hmm.
there's people from that era, Agustin Ramirez, Don Freddy Martinez, Sonny Osuna. Like they should have a piece of hardware there for them, and nostalgic, stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that it had such an impact when it still has an impact on people, even though they don't realize the validity of what it has. People often they don't give it credence to the validity of how it impacts their lives. This is, from what I've interviewed, the people that I've interviewed, the people that were at the inception of what is Tejano music. For them, it wasn't Tejano music. For them, it was Chicano music. For them, it was a movement.
Hmm. Hmm.
For them, that's what it was. It became Tejano music because most of the musicians and most of the music was coming out of Texas. But all in all, that's what shaped it, and that's how it became Tejano music. But it was a movement at the beginning. There's some real roots, some real heart that comes into it, and some of these stories are just astronomical as far as the talent, what it took. Balde Munoz, when he got his first drum set, he would go to the bar, and he was too young to enter, but he would sneak in the back door and watch the drummers and watch them play, and then he would get kicked out, and he would run home and he would practice what he saw, and then he creates. I mean, he becomes a musician, and he creates some of the Fabulosos Cuatro, and helps Elsa Garcia with her career. I mean, from a kid who,
Well, he's an icon too. I mean,
yeah, it's
all
true.
the best from Tati Rivera, Snowball,
Yeah,
Laura Canales,
right. Yeah,
all of those bands.
and that's what I'm saying. And Lupe says Gary Hobbs deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. There you go. Yeah, it needs to happen.
I'm not that guy.
DJ Gonzalez, saludos desde Poteet, Texas. How are you doing?
DJ Gonzalez, my brother.
Thank you so very much.
We'll
Yeah,
talk soon. God bless, brother.
Mr. DJ, did you have a gig in Hula Baloos here in Houston?
Hullabaloo?
Hula-
Houston, Texas, Pasadena. Yes, I was there many times. Yes.
yeah, he was there many times, brother. Yeah, conjunto and orchestra married and became Tejano.
It's another conversation, but I mean, I'm a big Latin breed and Royal Gesture fan.
Oh,
My go-to guy, the late Jimmy Edward. He's my
Oh,
guy.
mhm.
He's that guy.
He's
And David Mares and Adalberto Gallegos, and then
mhm.
towards the latter part of the mid 70s, I started hearing music, keyboards, El Chato Chavarria, Grupo Mayo, just with the Fender Rhodes, ding 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 ding, Fender Rhodes, that's it. And then I'm hearing La Movida, Ricky Smith guitars, and sounds like Tejano, but kind of rockish, and oh my God, it was forming something new. And I think in Grupo Mas, of course, with that original band, Hector Flores is involved with keyboards there. I think that started, changing the landscape from Chicano to Tejano, and then it resurfaces again with implementing the brass and implementing, of course, accordion and stuff, and so you know.
yeah, it's
True story. True story with us. I don't think if we don't record Las Miradas the way we left it in the studio, and Gabriel Velasquez was producing the album Las Miradas, and we left the riff open there like 16 measures, cut time 8, but he brings in Joel. What was his last name? But Joel goes and records that part. He
it,
does that on the fly,
mhm.
and that accordion part is born on Las Miradas, and that kind of put us pressure to deliver it, in person,
On stage.
on stage, and then we started implementing la accordion, so if it wasn't for that recording, there's a lot of Tejano bands that don't have accordion and they're Tejano. They're
Yeah.
La Movida didn't have accordion. Chato Chavarria didn't have accordion. Pio Treviño Grupo Magic doesn't have accordion.
Yeah.
And they're Tejanos. They're Tejanos, and I don't think they should exclude them because they don't have an accordion.
Of
It's
course.
like,
Joe Avila says Grupo Romance took it to another level.
oh yeah, oh man, Grupo Romance was huge. I got to open up for them here at the Moonlight Ballroom, and I got to meet the road crew. Funny story that I would open up for these. We would open up for those bands, and I would stick around afterwards, and I would pick up our stuff, and then I was helping their road crew, pick up their equipment, and I became friends with all the road crews, all the engineers, even before I met the artists. True story.
Yeah.
I think Romance had Wolf, Wolf and Marty. I forget their last names. Wolf and Marty was on their road crew. I got to meet them, and all of Mas Soundman, all these other bands. But yeah, I was loading and unloading too. I
Edward
I do a little bit of that once in a great while.
Edward Miguel says Joel.
Joel Guzman, God
One of
bless.
the-
He's a legend.
TJ
I got the timers right now. Joel Guzman is a beast.
Yeah.
He was working with Paul Simon. He
Oh,
was touring with Paul Simon. 50 Ways to Leave Tejano Music. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
that's funny.
But yeah, Joel Guzman is a beast. And my big shout out, Joel Guzman.
Well, brother, we've come to the end of the show, man, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it to you to go ahead and say your shout outs and everything else, brother. It's just you by yourself. So,
Man, happy holidays to each and every one of you that's on board, watching in tonight. Uh, Remember that all the comments and my opinions are just me. It's not from the show, but I protect Tejano music, and it's got different facets to it now. But don't exclude us with the keyboards, Tejano rancheras. But I have so many people to thank. It's almost the end of the year, 24. It's almost the end of a 41, 42 years career. Nothing but Tejano music, and man, I could never repay everybody and thank everybody that's helped me along the way and still support us. And we do cruises now, Tejano cruises. We do podcasts. Oh my God. And, we continue to work. We continue to tour. You can visit us at our social media sites, of course, GaryHobbs.com, GaryHobbsCruise.com. You can visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and now even on TikTok. I still don't really know all the technology to do things like that. But man, we love people that support Tejano music in general. We have our regular, usual suspects of clientele and family and friends that still support us, go to all our dances. We want to thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And con el favor de Dios, we see y'all, like always, on the road very, very soon. But big shout out to all of the usual suspects: Homero Castillo, Jaime Samago, Gabriel Gil, Roger Salinas, and Josh Ramirez. Frankie's been DJing with us, but he's been on the road crew. Frankie Guerra, and of course de parte de mi esposa Diana, who just takes care of me all the time and takes care of business. My son Gary Lee, La Familia Hobbs. Thank you to each and every one of you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all the good stuff.
Real quick, let's see here. TJ says, Gary, I miss you, brother. We need to catch up for. It's been a while. And
hey, TJ, Lucky Joe just said something. I want to shout out to Lucky Joe.
he says, thank you very much. Lucky Joe says, Gary, salud.
You're a star, baby. You're a superstar now. You don't call me now.
Yeah, you don't call. What's up, brother?
He used to go to our shows, and now he's so busy.
Right. Lupus says,
Big shout out, puro love, Lucky Joe.
Yeah, Lucky Joe. Thank you very much. Hey, come back to the show, Lucky, man. We need to have you back on the show. I told him my Native American name, because my Native American name is Michuampi Achelo, and he goes, bless you. He says, you're sneezing. Bless you. That's harsh, man. Lupe Benedide says, bendiciones to everyone. Tejano and Conjunto Strong. Thank you all for a great show. Thank you so very much. Gus Caballero says, your opinions are respected. Well said, Mr. Gary. Suerte. Uh,
Thank you, brother. They're just opinions.
yeah.
That's all it is.
Lupe Liscano says, happy holidays to you and your family, Mr. Gary Hobbs. God bless. Take care and be
Thank you.
safe. Uh, let's see here. Hello to Mr. Lucky Joe. Saludos a Eagle Passes, Joe Avila. And Lucky Joe, son las miradas que te doy.
I hope you learned the words to it because he does a great version of it.
Yeah, he's great, man. Hey, and the new song is pretty awesome, man. Thank you so very much for sending out the new song. And so, thank you to each and every one of y'all.
Lucky Joe just won at the Tejano Music Awards too, so congratulations to him.
Yeah,
Very, very well deserved.
he was in front of me at the when we were getting into the limousine. He cut in front of me, just actually. No, just kidding.
My, my God, y'all are winning awards and in limousines, and I'm here. I'm not that guy.
I told you, you need to be there, brother. You need to be there.
No, I was working that night. I really was.
Yeah, well, you are.
I was in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, you need to be there.
I don't expect to win. I'm not that guy.
You will be there.
No,
I,
I don't expect to be there. It's not my thing is to produce music, Tejano, make people dance, and for whatever part I am of the industry, nobody can take that from me. Nobody.
No,
There
that's
can
why you
be
get there.
people opinions, but man, there's a lot more people like me that have been part of the industry, and they go out there and they entertain, they work, they go through all the hard stuff just like every other band, and there's a lot of us, and so this is not just a one, two, three band circuit. There's many of us, but
yeah.
yeah, congratulations, Lucky Joe.
And with that being said, thank you so very much, Gary. This is your house, bro. Whenever you want to come back.
And thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Hilda.
Thank you for allowing me to be. So
Yeah. And so, with that being said, thank you very much to each and every one of y'all that came in, man. I really do appreciate you guys. We do appreciate y'all being here. Happy holidays. Want to remind you that they're registering for Gary Hobbs cruise. It's GaryHobbsCruise.com. Go check it out there. Happy Mirales, a happy M travel. You can get there at gmail.com. And if you're in the DFW area, make sure that you go out and check out Gary Hobbs because he's going to be at Players Sports Bar. There, it's going to be at 44 West Illinois Avenue there in Dallas, Texas. And he's got his own podcast. Hanging with Gary. I know I have episode 63. 64 is up now, but you can go ahead and check it out. You can go to GaryHobbs.com, the Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify. It's all over the place, and Apple Music as well. And don't forget that to go to the one and only Gary Hobbs website. Mira
I
nomás.
love that.
You go to the website so that way you can get his album. The way we support Tejano music and support our favorite artists is go to their shows, buy their merch. That's the way you help them. Spotify has changed the way they pay out their royalties. They don't pay them the way they used to. So go to their shows, buy their merch. That's the best way you could do it. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. Hilda, do you have anything, sweetheart?
no, just good night. Have a good evening and happy holidays.
All right. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you
Hilda.
next time.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank
You
you
too.
very much, Gary. I really do appreciate you. And if today was
Thank you, Qvo.
thank you. If today was not your day, if you had a bad day, just remember that every day planes take off against the wind. You matter. You are loved. Be human to each other. We'll see y'all next time. We're going to leave you with Llegaste a mi corazón, the latest song from the one and only, the legend himself. Mejor de todo el mundo tejano. What did you say earlier? How much did you pay me? El más chingón de what?
The last of
Bye-bye.
the Tejano badasses.
The last of the Tejano badasses that are still standing.
God bless. God
Yeah.
bless.
Good night, everyone.
One and only
Bye-bye.
Gary Hobbs. Thank you so very much, Gary. I really do appreciate you, bro. Here it is. Llegaste a mi corazón, Gary Hobbs. Check it out.
Good night.
siento yo por ti es sincero y verdadero. Desde la primera vez que yo te vi, tus ojos me cautivaron. Todo me encanta de ti, te quiero para mí. Qué mujer tan hermosa, qué mujer tan preciosa ha llegado a mi vida. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. Llegaste a mi El amor que siento yo por ti es sincero y verdadero. Desde la primera vez que yo te vi, tus ojos me cautivaron. Todo me encanta de ti, te quiero para mí. Qué mujer tan hermosa, qué mujer tan preciosa ha llegado a mi vida. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero acariciarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero amarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, ya no puedo olvidarte. Llegaste a mi corazón, solo quiero enamorarte. En mi corazón tú vives, en mi corazón tú vives. Llegaste en mi corazón.